Barefoot Investor by Scott Pape, a WealthWorks summary. Introduction. The Barefoot Investor. Scott Pape is an Australian financial advisor who lost his family home to a bushfire. He rebuilt not just his house but his entire approach to money. Simpler, more resilient, more human. The Barefoot Investor is the product of that rebuilding. This book has sold over 1 million copies in Australia alone. Remarkable for a country of 26 million people. It has been credited with genuinely changing the financial behavior of its readers at scale. The reason is not that it contains ideas no one has heard before. It is that Pape presents them in a way that feels personal, warm, and completely achievable. The Barefoot Investor is structured around what Pape calls the Barefoot Steps, a simple sequential plan for getting out of debt, building an emergency fund, and working toward financial independence. Each step is specific. Each has a clear completion condition. There is no ambiguity about what to do next. Pape writes in a conversational Australian voice that strips away the pretension that often surrounds financial advice. He is direct about what works and what does not, about his own mistakes, and about the financial industry's tendency to overcomplicate simple things for profit. Chapter 1. The Barefoot Date Night. Start with a conversation. Pape begins with something unusual for a finance book, a relationship. He argues that money problems are almost always relationship problems, that financial conflict is one of the leading causes of relationship breakdown, and that financial success is dramatically easier when partners are aligned. His solution is the Barefoot Date Night, a monthly dinner, deliberately relaxed with a glass of wine if you drink, where couples review their finances together. Not a stress-filled budget meeting, a connected conversation about shared goals, progress, and plans. For single people, the equivalent is a monthly review with yourself, a moment of deliberate attention to where your money's going and whether it is aligned with what you actually want. Pape is emphatic. The conversation is the foundation. All the systems and accounts and automation in the world will fail if you are not emotionally engaged with your financial life. The date night creates that engagement in a way that feels human rather than mechanical. The action: schedule your first Barefoot Date Night this month. If you have a partner, invite them. Cook a good meal or go somewhere you enjoy. Review your accounts together. Have the conversation without blame or judgment. Make it a recurring appointment. Chapter 2. Blow, Mojo, and Grow. The Bucket System. Pape's central structural insight is the bucket system. 3 accounts that handle your money in 3 different ways. The blow bucket is your everyday spending account. Your salary goes here. Your daily expenses come from here. It is not a savings account. It is a flow account. Money moves through it. The Mojo account is your emergency fund. Pape targets $2,000 as an initial goal, enough to handle the most common financial emergencies without going into debt. Later, this grows to 3 months of expenses. This account is never touched except for genuine emergencies. The Grow bucket is your wealth-building account. A percentage of your income flows here automatically every pay cycle. This money is never spent on lifestyle. It is invested and left to compound. The elegance is in the separation. Most people operate from a single account and try to mentally divide it between spending, saving, and investing. The mental accounting fails. The bucket system makes the divisions physical. Separate accounts that handle different purposes. The action: open a separate high-interest savings account for your Mojo fund if you do not already have one. Transfer your first contribution this week. Name it Emergency Fund. Chapter 3. Cut your debts. Fire bullets, then cannonballs. Pape's debt reduction strategy is similar to Dave Ramsey's snowball method, but with a barefoot twist. He categorizes debts by type and addresses them in a specific order. First, any debt related to a recurring expense you no longer use. Cancel the service and pay the debt. These are the easy wins. Clear them immediately. Second, consumer debt with the highest interest rate. Credit cards charging 20% per year are the priority. Every payment on these is a guaranteed 20% return. Third, personal loans, car loans, and other medium-term consumer debts. Fourth, the mortgage. Last priority because it is typically at the lowest rate and represents a real asset on the other side. Pape adds a powerful psychological tool, the debt domino. List all your debts from smallest balance to largest. Pay minimums on all except the smallest. Attack the smallest with everything available. When it is gone, move to the next. The series of wins builds momentum. The action? Write your complete debt list right now. Lender, balance, and interest rate. Organize it from smallest to largest balance. Identify the first domino. Direct every surplus dollar there. Chapter 4. Super Matters. Never ignore your retirement account. Pape is particularly passionate about superannuation, Australia's mandatory retirement savings system, but his message applies universally to any employer-matched retirement account. The employer match is the closest thing to free money that exists in the financial system. If your employer matches your retirement contributions up to 3% and you are not contributing at least 3%, you are leaving a 100% return on the table. No investment comes close to that. Pape is also direct about the superannuation and retirement account industry's fee problem. The same problem Bogle and Robbins identify. Many funds charge fees that dramatically reduce long-term returns. Low-cost index options within most retirement systems now exist, and switching to them is one of the highest impact financial decisions most people can make. He also addresses the problem of insurance bundled inside retirement accounts. Insurance that many people do not need or already have duplicated through other policies, but which silently drains their retirement savings. The action: log into your retirement account. Check what you are invested in and what the fees are. If there is a low-cost index option, consider switching. Check whether the insurance cover inside the account is appropriate for your situation. Chapter 5. Invest in your home, the mortgage domino. Pape is enthusiastic about home ownership for the same reasons as David Bach: forced savings, stability, and the emotional security of owning where you live. His specific focus is on mortgage reduction. He advocates for making extra repayments, as much as the budget allows, toward the principal of the home loan. The return is guaranteed and equal to the mortgage interest rate, which is often 3 to 5%. More importantly, every dollar off the principal reduces the total interest paid over the life of the loan. PAP calculates that a family making one extra mortgage payment per year, equivalent to dividing the monthly payment by 12 and adding that amount each month, can reduce a 30-year mortgage to a 23-year mortgage, 7 years earlier. Tens of thousands of dollars in interest saved. He is also direct about offset accounts, a feature of many Australian mortgages and increasingly available elsewhere. An offset account pools your savings against your mortgage balance, reducing the interest calculated each month. Every dollar in the offset account earns the mortgage interest rate tax-free. The action: if you have a mortgage, calculate how much additional principal you could pay per month. Model the impact over the life of the loan. Even an extra $100 per month compounds into years of reduced loan term and thousands of dollars in saved interest. Chapter 6. Give it away. The Barefoot Foundation. Pape ends, like Bach, with generosity. He runs a foundation that provides financial literacy education to disadvantaged communities. And he writes about the personal impact of giving with evident conviction. His practical advice mirrors Bach's. Automate giving, just as you automate saving. Decide a percentage. Start small, even 1%, and set it up as a standing order. Let it become part of your financial identity. Pape adds something distinctive: the power of involving children in giving decisions. Families who make conscious, visible giving decisions together, who choose together which cause to support, build children who understand money as a tool for good, not just a measure of success. He closes with a reflection on what financial success is actually for. Not security for its own sake, not wealth as a scoreboard, but the freedom and resources to live a meaningful life, to work because you choose to give because you can, to build something worth leaving behind. The action: choose a cause that matters to you. Set up an automatic monthly donation, even $10 to start. Tell someone you trust about the commitment. Make it real. Key quotes. The secret to financial freedom is not in your wallet, it's in your mindset. Money is simply a tool, and like any tool, it can be used well or poorly. You don't need to be smart to be wealthy. You need to be consistent. Save before you spend. Invest before you consume. The best investment you'll ever make is in yourself. How to apply this? The core message of the Barefoot Investor is actionable immediately. Begin with the first principle today. A note at the end. The Barefoot Investor by Scott Pape is a book that rewards rereading. Return to it whenever you feel financial anxiety, not because it will tell you what the market will do next, but because it will remind you what matters and what does not. This has been WealthWorks. If this was useful, subscribe. There is more where this came from. Kirakun